Planet Dolan. From family intrusions to having diarrhea, the Planet Dolan crew reenacts some of the best true stories from our subreddit about the worst things that have happened during the act. I'm Danger Dolan and today I'll be on the narrator. Number 10 was submitted by Masterchaoss. One time, Pringle had brought his girlfriend home for a night to have a good time. While they were doing it, his girlfriend was close to an orgasm and got pretty loud. Pringle tried to get her to quiet down, but it was too late. His mother came into the room and then stripped naked, saying, "If you're gonna be that loud, you better let me join in." Needless to say, Pringle and his girlfriend learned their lesson about being loud in the bedroom at his parents' house. Number 9 was submitted by Yummy6. Andy Mations was having sex with her ex-boyfriend who happened to live with his mother. It was about midnight when they got busy. She was close to orgasm when his mother, her boyfriend, his uncle, and his cousin stood in the doorway while his mother was the one at the front of the group. This happened while Andy Mations was doing reverse cowgirl. Fully nude, she fell off and caused him to hurt his penis. Mortifyingly embarrassing. Number 8 was submitted by Callum Frey97. My brother was 13 at the time when he met this girl at a Halloween party. They danced and one thing led to another and she took him to her room. She was giving him head when she had an epileptic seizure whilst his little friend was deep in her mouth. Her mouth shut, her teeth clamped onto his little friend, and it was stuck bleeding and in a bad way. He generally thought he was going to be a girl from that day forward, but after 25 stitches later, it was back to normal. He can thankfully say he hasn't and will not be doing that again. Number 7 was submitted by Mutemoth. Back when Podlpud and his wife were still in their teens, and in that phase of dating where they couldn't keep their hands off each other, they decided to try flavored condoms. They were a cheap brand from a local gas station and supposedly banana flavored. Podlpud probably should have realized it was a bad idea then and there. When they got back to her house and to her room, Podlpud put it on. So first of all, it was really small. It was clearly not long enough to be used for anything other than some oral play. But of course, both of them were still really naive and thought, nah, it's still fine for the real sex times. After that little bit of oral play, they went to having actual sex with the flavored condom still on. About 5 seconds in, she tells Podlpud it's burning, like a genuine feeling like her vagina is on fire, burning. Podlpud immediately stopped and pulled right out, and she ran off to wash up and get some ice. But it doesn't stop there. He wasn't spared from the wrath of the cheap banana flavored condom, because when he looked down and took the thing off, Podlpud saw the upper length of his dick was turning bright red. He was having an allergic reaction, while the actual flavoring was burning her vagina. Took a few hours, but eventually that burning and rash went away. But god damn it, kids! Don't buy cheap flavored condoms from gas stations, and for love of shit, don't use them for penetrative sex, you fools! Number 6 was submitted by Sassymanticore. Ghost Toast and his girlfriend at the time were walking to his house from school because they knew that his parents weren't home. She was acting real weird the entire walk there, and she wouldn't tell him what was going on. When they got home, they started making out. Ghost Toast started to go down on her. She started acting weird again, but still wouldn't tell him what was wrong. He figured she was just nervous about his parents coming home. They'd done this several times before. She let him pull her pants and panties off, and the pieces fell into place as he was greeted with diarrhea all over her panties. It was brown, lumpy, and he swears he saw diced onions in there. Ghost Toast then quickly pulled her pants up, and they just never spoke about it again. I'd be more concerned about a fucking ghost going down on me, but hey, diarrhea is pretty bad too. Number 5 was submitted by the Monkey, 1455. At the time, Hellbent was 18, his girlfriend was 19. They were at her house, just having a good time. Hellbent was playing his guitar because he'd written a song for her. And after that, she decided that they should take the relationship a step further. They thought they had the house to themselves. The next thing you knew, they were both naked in a bed, and as they were taking a break from the festivities, her ex-marine father walked in with a gun, to which Hellbent promptly jumped out of the bed, grabbed the keys to his motorcycle. He exited through the nearest open window, still completely naked, and hopped on his bike. He rode like his life depended on it, because it probably did. Long story short, Hellbent got his clothes and phoned back at school the next day, and that's the story of how he lost his virginity and found out that without a leather jacket, doing 80 miles per hour on a motorcycle can leave a welt on your body. Number 4 was submitted by Podlpud. Nixium's girlfriend handcuffed him to the bed, and to look all attractive, she threw the keys behind her. They forgot all about it and did the deed, but afterwards, to her horror, she just couldn't find the keys. After 3 hours of Nixium's wrists getting uncomfortable and her spoon feeding him scrambled eggs, it was only after her roommate came home to see them did she find the keys in her pet snake's cage. Number 3 was submitted by Wilcojarooo 000. Slaptam's girlfriend had just had surgery to remove a tumor from her shoulder for biopsy, and had stitches holding together her shoulder for an area around the width of a golf ball, half as deep for the cutout section. While Slaptam and his girlfriend were having sex, the friction of the stitches on his mattress caused the stitches to break with a slight popping sound. Hearing it, they stopped and sat up, and all of the rest snapped at once, allowing the surgical wound to throw blood all over the walls and bed like a horror-themed confetti at a birthday party. That night, less than 15 hours from the initial surgery, Slaptam and his girlfriend went back and decided to glue the wound shut and use dissolving stitches to hold the interior. She turned out to be allergic to the glue and ended up having a slight allergic reaction for the following weeks. She wasn't allowed to be by herself because she would scratch at the area because of the allergy. Number 2 was submitted by Evilbunny. So Emoji was on the phone with his dad, and his wife decided it would be funny to start going down on him. Emoji tried to get her to stop, or at least have her give him the chance to end the conversation with his dad, but she kept on savouring his sausage. After a good 2 minutes of awkwardly trying to let his dad know what's going on to get his wife to calm down, Emoji's body got confused and he ended up pissing all over his wife while still on the phone with his dad. He just stood there with his wife looking up at him, both of them in complete shock and silent horror. Emoji then told his dad that he had to go and proceed to profusely apologize to his wife. Emoji is amazed she still does sexy stuff with him. So what's the worst thing that happened to me during the act? Oh fuck, I gotta give a story, don't I? Alright, let me keep this story brief because of the horrible embarrassment that's to ensue. Alright, so you know when you're doing it and things get a little bit squelchy, and kind of like those tubs of goo you get as a kid that you put your finger into and it makes fart noises. Imagine that with the dick in the hole. That's pretty much it because of all the squelching and the goo and all that. That may have happened, and instead of continuing, we just ended up pissing ourselves laughing and just stopped. Embarrassing but funny. I'd say it's probably the worst thing. I'm going to be relying on the artist to help me out with that story, and also in the vague hope that my family never ever watches this video ever. Huge thanks to the folks there at Planet Dolan subreddit. We have another question for you. What's the scariest experience you've ever had with a stalker? Let us know on the Reddit page linked below and you might be featured in a future countdown. That's it for this video, and have a good one!
He was singing, I want to kill my brother, I want to kill my sister, I want to kill my mother, I want to kill my father, I want to kill everyone.